All right, I'll bring the public hearing to order today, Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. Could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Tedesco?
Here.
Commissioner Pinter?
Here.
Commissioner Odoricio?
Here.
Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Baca?
Thank you very much. We want to make sure we excuse our fellow commissioners that were unable to be with us today. So we want to make sure that they're excused for today. We do have a quorum, so we can move on. If everyone will please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All right. Did we all vote? Yes. Oh, okay. Passes. Thank you very much. All right. Next on the agenda is item number 4, awards and presentations. A, which is the 2021 Government Finance Officers Association Budget Award Presentation. Okay, we begin today's public hearing by recognizing very prestigious award recently received by our Budget and Finance Department, issued by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada. I'm glad that we're doing finances through Canada today. The Distinguished Budget Presentation Award is only presented to governments whose budget document satisfies nationally recognized guidelines. Remarkably, Adams County has received this award for more than 27 consecutive years. We'd like to recognize our outstanding budget and finance team on this impressive achievement. We have our Budget and Finance Director, Nancy Duncan, here to provide some remarks. Nancy, welcome. Happy pre-Thanksgiving week.
It is. I'm Nancy Duncan, the Budget and Finance Director for Adams County, and I'm very appreciative of you all recognizing this award today. I'd like to recognize my team, but first I'd like to tell you a little bit about the award and why we received it. There are 4 categories with 14 criteria that must receive proficient scores to receive this award. The budget document must be a policy document, a financial plan, an operations guide, and a communication device to the board and also the constituents in the county. I'd like to recognize Mark Osborne as the Deputy Budget Director. Without his steadfast and loyal manner, we would not have received this. He's been just an amazing person to work with, and I appreciate him and his team so much. I want to recognize the rest of the team. Nikki Blair, who I believe is still upstairs. She's not made it down here yet. Mark Kluth, Timna Jedlow, Pernell Olson, and Stacy Snyder. Thank you.
You're a lot nicer than I would be. I'd say, hey, Mark Osborne, could you stand so everybody could see who you are?
Yes, Mark Osborne. Well,
Stand
Mark
up.
Osborne, this morning, Mark Osborne said, you're doing the remarks, right? I don't have to do that.
Yeah. And then
So-
could we have the whole entire team stand up just so we can recognize you and all the work that you've done?
Thank you.
And thank you, Nancy. Thank you for your leadership and, taking the reins. I know that you weren't the head of this for 27 years, but you've done a fine and outstanding job continuing this, so thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, do you have any comments?
Just a pile-on of congratulations. This is a recognition that you guys are all owed, and I'm glad to see you receive it for being diligent, careful, thoughtful, and frankly innovative in your approach to solving these problems.
And Mr. Chair, if I might, I appreciate everything that you guys are doing that helps provide confidence in the community that our tax dollars are being looked over, they're being spent, they're being tracked in a manner that maximizes responsibility and accountability. So thank you all very much for everything that you're doing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations. All right, public comment. Erica, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We do have 2 people signed up today. The first person is Mark Bromley.
Okay, if you could step to the podium, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Well, thank you, County Commissioners. I'm Mark Bromley. Last time I was here, I picked up a packet on PLN 2021-12 Development Standards Phase 3. I see there was a process for creating tiny homes in Adams County. I do oppose such activities, as these poor shelters will become a blight and similar in aspect to internment camps for the homeless crisis caused by the Obama-Biden regimes, and seems like a very bad solution to a growing concern in Colorado. Mail-in ballots also worsen these tiny homeless sheltered communities, as it becomes addresses and a method to control and farm and harvest votes through intimidation of losing shelter as temperatures drop in Colorado. There is a 3-week period that election judges cannot monitor or see voters and prevent coercion of those votes. We also have many housing environments that manipulation of the vulnerable population can be directed to those votes there. Often I doubt mail-in ballots are justified, and tiny home communities represent a vulnerable community subject to coercion for any number of purposes, including the forced labor of slavery in tiny housing communities that over time can turn into hot racking, sneaking around illegal aliens, and other malicious labor plots. It means where these tiny homes will house more residents than intended, similar to overcrowding conditions on some Navy ships with the lower enlisted, where up to 3 sailors could share one coffin locker rack for sleeping in the form of a tiny home. What is worse is that the elderly on fixed and limited incomes could also end up in these tiny housing communities and other vulnerable housing persons, contributing to a degradation of the human condition that is un-American. The tiny homes create inequality and inequity in our society, becoming a long-term solution that generates slums and slumlords and in even more worse environments where U.S. Americans will never be able to rise above or even escape from. Colorado is notorious for keeping the poor poor, and welfare in Colorado keeps people on welfare for life in most cases. No matter how hard a poor Colorado person tries, they simply cannot escape the conditions of poverty in Colorado. I know this is a fact in Colorado because of the oppression of Democrat legislation and regulatory effects. Sorry I only get 3 minutes. I would elaborate more and would tell you how I did Ed Perlmutter's job and what I found out on government employment issues in Colorado, as that will have to wait for another week. To sum it up, there are good government jobs in Colorado, but they are resource locked behind college paywalls when the skill sets are 10th grade data entry KSAs. As for the tiny homes, I do not support these communities, as I see the future abuses and inequality and inhumanity that will transpire in tiny home communities. Thank you, County Commissioners. You have a good day.
Thank you very much. Next.
Paulina Romano.
Again, if you could state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Paulina Romano. On October 29th, the FDA authorized the use of the COVID vaccine in children ages 5 to 11. Since the beginning of COVID, there have been 8,300 cases of COVID-related hospitalization within children of this age group. Of those 8,300, 146 of those children died with COVID, 0.01%. The FDA and CDC safety surveillance systems have previously identified increased risks of myocarditis and pericarditis following vaccination with the Pfizer COVID vaccine, particularly the second dose. The observed risk was highest in males 12 to 17 years of age. Because of this, the FDA conducted its own benefit risk assessment using modeling to predict how many symptomatic COVID cases, hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and deaths in children 5 to 11 years of age due to contracting COVID versus the number of potential myocarditis cases, hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and deaths that the vaccine might cause. The FDA's model predicted that overall, the benefits of the vaccine would outweigh its risk in children 5 to 11 years of age. It predicted that overall, the benefits would outweigh the risks. But where are the models? Where are the numbers for the 5 to 11 age group? It is stated that there were not enough trial participants to accurately predict the risks. But I'm thinking after this week and last, there will be enough as it's being delivered to the masses. Remember, this is authorized for use, not approved. Pfizer has admitted that safety studies require a 5-year follow-up study to evaluate the long-term effects of post-vaccination myocarditis and pericarditis. Yet we are labeling this as a safe preventative measure. What is being prevented? The FDA states that there is significantly less data, yet they are willing to inject this into our children, your children. Promoting its use, coercing, and bribing. Families will lose their livelihood. Where is our medical freedom? This has to stop. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next,
That was everyone signed up.
is there anyone else? All right. Again, if you could state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Shauna Herder. I wanted to start off, first of all, I know that we're looked at this hateful group. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I'm not an anti-masker, but I am in favor of choice. Miss Emma, I want to let you know that there is a group of us in our parents group, and we are praying for your kids. I know that you shared last week how you have let your child take this exploratory use medication, and we are genuinely praying that your child does not have an adverse reaction. I don't know if you're aware, as Pauline touched on, but myocarditis and pericarditis is very common with this vaccination, and I use that quotation because it's not a full vaccination. I don't know if you're aware that because they know that that's happening, in the children's dosage, they're putting tromethamine, which deals with heart issues. It is a heart attack drug to counterbalance the fact that the vaccine is giving your child pericarditis and myocarditis. This is not for me. You can look it up on your FDA website. You know, I kind of find it funny that one of the doctors, when they had the FDA call, I don't know if any of you bothered watching that when they were trying to get this approved. Dr. Eric Rubin said, "We're never going to learn about how safe this vaccine is unless we start using it." If that is not the poster statement for your child isn't guinea pig, I don't know what is. They don't know how safe it is. Unknown. I'm not telling you what to do as a parent, but you guys, I know you keep telling us every week that you're not forcing your employees to take the vaccination. You're forcing them to be tested. I'm sure I won't get an answer on this, but I'd like to know what test you're using. Because the PCR test, as you've been told repeatedly, has been recalled. I don't know if you've seen the latest news, but 2 million at-home test kits have been recalled because they're giving false positives. This is not as bad as they say it is. You've also been told that the reason why people are dying in the hospital is because of the protocol that they're given. As I shared, that my own mother was passed away from that. She didn't die of COVID. She died because she was given remdesivir. The nurses think it's funny to call it run death is near because they know that it's causing deaths. It causes your kidneys to shut down. Your kidneys shut down, your body releases all of its fluids, and you're choking. And on the death certificate, they put COVID pneumonia. Is it choking on your own fluids looks like pneumonia? These are things that if you guys had integrity of anything to look up and see, this is out there for you to see. We're not a hateful group, but for people to say that I'm a scumbag because I won't infect my child with this or inject my child with this, it's not true. There's too much out there that's saying that this is dangerous for children and adults, but at least the adults have a choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone else in the audience that would like to make public comment? Seeing none, I will move on. Elected officials, do we have any comments? Commissioner Pinter.
I don't have a particularly long comment, but Ms. Herder, I just want to offer condolences for your mom. You've brought her up a couple of times. I lost my mom many years ago, and I wasn't able to be with her at the time that she passed, and I know how painful that is. I know that we're having a really important policy conversation as well, and you're bringing important concerns to us, but you've brought it up several times, and I just feel compelled to say, I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope that you and your family are able to come together and grieve, and I know how painful that can be, and I'm sorry.
All right, any other comments? No one wants to bring up the chair's birthday today?
Well, I heard that she is turning 30, maybe for the second time, and I wish her congratulations on her happy birthday celebrations.
You know, I don't know that that was right when she said that and everybody laughed. Look, Eva is having her birthday, and we wish her well. I know she's not feeling well as well. So I want to make sure that, you know, we pay respect to her, and happy birthday, Eva Henry.
And I'm sure she's watching. So I won't mention that the fire department would let us bring in all those candles, so.
Wow.
All right, we are
Wow.
degrading here.
Happy birthday, Commissioner
Happy
Henry.
birthday, Eva.
Hey, happy birthday, Eva. All right. All right, consent calendar. Do we have a motion to pass consent calendar?
Second.
Okay, consent calendar has been passed. New business, County Manager Ray Gonzalez.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to move the order of the county manager business today, and I'm going to start with item number 5, which is a resolution approving Amendment 1 to the agreement between Adams County and K&H Election Services Solutions for ballot printing services. And our clerk and recorder, Josh Zingelbaum, will be presenting this item.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. Ray, thanks for moving this around for us. We have our risk limiting audit this morning as well, so we're eager to get back there and take a look at all the ballots and make sure everything was as it should be. Josh Zillbaum, Adams County Clerk and Recorder. As the County Manager mentioned, we're here to talk about our ballot printing vendor. Jamie Galtney, our Elections Administrator, is here with me, and she will actually go through the item with you. If you have any questions, I'll be here as well to answer those.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adams County utilizes a print vendor for ballot print services for the Adams County Elections Department. That is K&H Election Services, I apologize. Each year, the number of ballots are estimated and actual amounts can vary. The recommendation is to approve Amendment 1 to the agreement with K&H Election Services to extend the agreement until December 31st, 2022, and add $1,150,000 to the 2021 and 2022 ballot printing years for a total not to exceed agreement amount of $1,400,000. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Commissioner Penter.
Yep. It's just me and Commissioner Odorizio, so get to ask some questions right away. Hi. So with all the questions going on about election security, I know you have some documentation that's in our packet, but I would love to hear a little bit more from you about some of your security protocols with the mail-in ballots. It was part of public comment today, and some of the extra steps. So nothing in particular, but just would love to hear a little more detail on the emphasis you place on security and some of the steps that you think are important and what you think is really great about this vendor and why you'd like to have this contract approved today with that emphasis on security and voter security.
Great question, and thank you. Election security is definitely at the top of our list of importance, and it's not just with ballots, but every system we use, every door we go through in the building, every aspect of election security is important to us. As far as the ballots go, K&H, with a county of our size, we've actually eclipsed 300,000 voters in Adams County, one of the largest counties in Colorado. There are only so many print vendors in the west of the Mississippi that can handle a county of our size, K&H being one of them. They are a quite competent printer. We have been out there a number of times. We go out prior to every single election while our ballots are actually running. Their facilities themselves are hardened and secure. You have to go through a several-step security process to even get in and see them. Once you're there, if you're there as a visitor, you're escorted everywhere you go throughout the entire printing process. So it's very secure, and their equipment is extremely modern. Every single election, between the elections, when they're kind of their downtime, they're always adding in new advancements to make it even more efficient as well. One of the things that we use for our ballots is regarding the shipping from K&H, because they are in Washington. They are shipped here to Denver to go through our GMF. The trucks that are used are one of the top logistical companies in the country. believe they're still using XPO, if I recall correctly. And really, they're a very large international organization, so they've got it together. And those vehicles are monitored via GPS. The trucks are sealed and locked so that there couldn't be any tampering with them. And really, it's almost a straight shot through from Washington to Colorado. They just keep going, and they go directly to the GMF. At that point, they're offloaded. We have people at the General Mail facility observing it. The Postal Service has their folks there as well that are doing the work, and then of course there are sign-offs, and we do verify that all vehicles are empty prior to them leaving, so we know that they have gotten to the post office securely. Conveniently, I actually live next door to the person that works for the UPS that oversees all of their logistics, and so he and I are able to talk to each other over the fence to see what's going on when we're mowing our lawns and things. So it's very convenient. They do a great job. Their processing this election was far better than in previous elections even. He was telling me they're adding in new ballot sorting equipment on their end to make it even more efficient. The return rate, from what I saw, was a bit lower as far as ballots being returned for undeliverables. And then we start receiving them back. I don't want to get into a lot of specific security measures we're using here at the Government Center for security reasons, but I can say that it's like a casino in there. Everything's on camera. Bipartisan teams and everything we do. We have watchers come in that observe the processes. What's that? Tours. We give tours as well, so if the public's interested in coming and seeing how it all works, they're welcome to. You are all welcome to as well. But it is definitely a very secure operation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? Seeing none. Josh, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've done while you've been in office. It's been amazing. We appreciate everything, and I know the community does as well. Security is always at the top of everybody's, we had a comment earlier. Perception is hard to overcome, especially if they're not there working. People have their own perception of what's happening and what's not happening. I'd encourage anyone who has any perceptions to contact Josh and get a tour and ask questions. So thank you very much for coming forward. At this time, I would entertain a motion for 21-877.
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
I would echo the comments of my colleagues and say thank you both for all you're doing, and I move to approve as presented.
I am happy to second that as well. Thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, you are passed.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. We look
We have
forward
a
to
printer.
seeing the results of the next election.
Coming up soon. And Chaz, a little bit late, but happy Veterans Day to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, the next item before you is a resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and Specialized Alternatives for Families and Youth of Colorado, Inc., in the amount of $199,641 for the Homes for Hope Foster Care Project. And our Deputy Director of Human Services, Eddie Valdez, will be presenting this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. How you doing? Today I'm seeking the approval of the Homes for Hope Therapeutic Foster Care Services contract for Adams County children and youth placed in foster care. In September 2021, the Adams County Finance Department Purchasing Division, in collaboration with the Adams County Human Services Department, released an RFP to seek a collaborative partner agency in a project called Homes for Hope. Homes for Hope is a program that will serve Adams County children and youth ages 0 to 18 to provide therapeutic foster care services. Adams County owns 2 existing homes on a single property that will house the foster families, and both homes are furnished. Although they share a property, one home is in Thornton and the other one is in unincorporated Adams County. We estimate up to 12 children can be served at a time within these two residences, and the placements will be exclusively available for Adams County foster children. Our goal with this service of keeping sibling groups together remains the same. The evaluation team for this RFP recommends awarding the contract to Specialized Alternatives for Families and Youth of Colorado, also known as SAFE. SAFE's mission is to offer hope and healing through their model of care. They serve a cultural diverse population, delivering the right care at the right time to strengthen families and children through our communities. Recognized as a leader in the management and provision of the highest quality community-based services, their clinical expertise produces positive, sustainable change in the lives of families and their children. SAFE proposes to offer a unique model of therapeutic foster care in the Homes for Hope houses. They offer to provide intentional matching process open to transparent communication and individualized services. SAFE anticipates serving the project with 6 full-time clinicians and additional support staff to provide transportation support. This will drive positive outcomes and ensure the clinicians working with the child are providing the maximum amount of support required based on the child's needs. SAFE has been accredited by the Council of Accreditation since 1994. SAFE is also a licensed CPA, or Child Placement Agency, and a treatment foster care provider through the state of Colorado, along with being a member of the Family Focused Treatment Association. The Evaluation Committee recommends that SAFE's proposal with the scope of work as described in the RFP be awarded. The contract terms will be for initial year, which will be December 1st of 2021 through December 31st of 2022, and the availability for the county to renew for 4 option years. The fees for the first year are $199,641. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Seeing no questions, I just want to say thank you. You know, Homes for Hope is, dear to me. It's something that I've pushed for over the years, and I know it's changing. But we've won awards for this program, and I think that, Adams County has really highlighted the need and what we can do as a government agency to address kids in trauma, and especially in this arena. So being a former foster child, I commend you, and I thank both you and your leadership, Katie Griego, for everything that she has done, and everyone else. And I just appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioners, do we have a motion? Yes, I'm happy to make this motion to approve this agreement, and I have to pile on. I have the opportunity to do a lot of work with you and Katie Griego on the Child Welfare Allocation Committee for the state, and I see every time we have a meeting how dedicated you are to professionalism and achieving best standards, and I know that that is incredibly hard, particularly when the federal government is always changing the standards, but you guys always meet all of those objectives in the service of serving our kids and giving them the best available care, and I appreciate your efforts in pulling this contract together and serving our foster youth.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I'm happy to make the motion to approve.
And second.
All right, motion passes. Thank you very much.
All right, Commissioners, the next item is a resolution approving expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting a budget for Adams County, State of Colorado for the calendar year beginning of the first day of January 2022 and ending on the last day of December 2022. I'm going to ask our Budget and Finance Director, Nancy Duncan, to step up and present this budget. But before I do that, I have a few remarks. As I close out my 5th and final year as County Manager, it is my honor to present the proposed 2022 budget for your consideration. Before I get to financial projections, I'd like to talk about people. We are now serving more than 515,000 residents with world-class service across our departments, divisions, and elected offices. I want to commend our professional staff and elected leaders for their collective and independent efforts over the past 18 months. Throughout the pandemic, our work never stopped, and our teams have remained nimble as they continue adapting to this evolving public health challenge. In comparison to the 2021 adopted budget, the 2022 proposed operating budget represents an $84.7 million increase, or 14.7% increase. A key priority for this year's recommendation was to ensure we maintain our high standard in service delivery to the growing number of residents in Adams County. We have also factored in the need for a total compensation strategy to recognize the valuable contribution of our existing employees, while ensuring that we maintain our status as an employer of choice. The proposed capital improvement plan recommends an investment of approximately $73.3 million in needed infrastructure and maintenance projects, while keeping expenditures balanced within our available resources. This budget is aligned with your identified goals and addresses some key focus areas, including $11.7 million increased allocations in several areas to help our most vulnerable residents, including but not limited to homelessness programs and a scholarship program for deserving students. $18.4 million in new and ongoing road and bridge projects. $4.3 million in new and replacement fleet needs throughout the county, including public safety and highway equipment. $36.2 million in facility projects, including continuing construction on the Fleet and Public Works building. $6.3 million in open space, including acquisitions to enhance an already robust parks and open space system. Finally, I'd like to thank each of the elected officials, department directors, and the county's budget team for their cooperation and strategic vision they brought forward with their request for this year. I would also like to thank you, our commissioners, for your guidance in outlining the goals and objectives for this coming year. At this time, I'd ask Nancy Duncan to please step forward. Try not to get emotional. This is my last budget.
Way to go. Thanks so much. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Nancy Duncan, Budget and Finance Director for Adams County. In public hearing on November 9th, we presented the 2022 proposed budget to you and the residents of Adams County for review. In accordance with state statute, and so the residents have opportunity for public comment and input, notice of this public hearing was published in the North Glen Sentinel and Westminster Window on November 11th, 2021. The 2022 proposed revenues are $633,815,737. The 2022 proposed expenditures are $659,207,432. The overall use of fund balance is $25,391,695, with capital and one-time projects totaling $93,224,901. In the general fund, the use of fund balance is $16,942,001, with $21,623,336 in capital and one-time projects. This shows that Adams County is following the fund balance policy established by the Board of County Commissioners and using fund balance for only capital and one-time projects. Adams County is not using fund balance for daily operations. Today we are presenting 4 resolutions shown on your public hearing agenda under new business. Item 1, which will adopt the 2022 budget by fund. Item 2, which will appropriate the 2022 sums of money to various funds. Item 3, which will approve the 2022 certification of mill levies. And item 4, which will approve the 2022 Adams County fee schedule. The proposed 2022 mill levy for Adams County is 27.069 mills, which includes an abatement mill levy of 0.290. The county's gross assessed valuation is $9,823,920,580. The total amount budgeted for property taxes in 2022 is $251,007,142. The Board of County Commissioners also certifies other property tax entities within the county, however, assumes no liability or responsibility for these districts. These are certified to Adams County by the districts, and the county compiles them into a report for the state. I would like to answer any questions you have and also invite public comment.
Commissioner Pinter.
Oh, I apologize. That was from before. I don't have a mechanism to pull it down. But I will just say thank you for your diligence. This is why it's so important that you win awards and are so careful with your work, because it's so much money and we have to be so careful and thoughtful.
Thank you. It really is a team effort, though. We've really worked hard all together to get this accomplished.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing no other questions, County Attorney or County Manager, do we want to take these all at once, or should we do them individually? Okay, then at this time, I would entertain an emotion for items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Commissioner Odoricio.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Congratulations, both of you, for passing a new budget and your last budget, which was very emotional. I'm a little disappointed we're losing you, but in the grand scheme of things, Ray, you have been everything that this county has needed in the last 5 years that you have served here. And you have done your job with grace. You have done your job with excellence, professionalism, and I know that you are going to represent Adams County at your new position and not forget us when you're gone, because you're just not that type of guy. Yeah. And, you know, this budget is very meaningful because it accomplishes kind of a 5-year plan that you had, and I really appreciate that, and we are going to be the benefits of that. You and your team have been amazing, so thank you.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
I'd like to thank you, the commissioners, the executive leadership team, and also our county manager, and the department directors and staff for working with the Budget and Finance Department to prepare the 2022 budget. I cannot express how much I appreciate Ray and how much I appreciate my team. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we will move on. Well, we'll give them a moment. They need a moment. They need a moment. There's tissue. All right, so we will move on to the next item.
The next item before you is a resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and FCI Constructors, Inc. for construction management general contractor services for the Adams County District Attorney's Building. And I believe Cindy will be presenting this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cindy Stringham, Project Manager with Facilities and Fleet Management. The District Attorney Building project was identified by working closely with the District Attorney to accommodate space needs for growing operations. A formal solicitation for proposals was issued for construction manager general contractor services. 5 firms submitted proposals, and through evaluation, FCI Contractors, Inc. was selected for this project. Therefore, it is recommended to award a contract to FCI Constructors, Inc. in the amount of $3,000 for pre-construction services, and a guaranteed maximum price will be determined prior to construction. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second. Happy to do this. I know that our sheriff got new facilities and got his facilities refurbished, and our coroner, and so now district attorney as well. I'm glad we're taking care of everyone so that they have appropriate facilities. So thank you for all the work to do it correctly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item.
Yes, the last item before you is a resolution approving Amendment 3 to the amount of $139,860 to the agreement between Adams County and Clifton Ellen Larson for external audit services, and Nancy Duncan will be presenting this item.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Nancy Duncan, Budget and Finance Director. On Tuesday, October 19th, I came before you to ask for an extension for the CLA contract for external audit. The reason for that ask is that we are not able at this time to go out for RFP just due to everything going on in our office, and we respectfully request that we extend this one more time. One year.
So you're asking us to extend this ask for a year?
Just 1 year, yes, and we'll go out for RFP in June.
Commissioners, do we have any questions?
I do.
Commissioner Odorizio.
Our process usually is to extend 2 or 3 times.
We've extended it once already, and this is just a 1-year extension. Before, we extended it for 5 years.
Okay, but we're going out for bid in June
Yes,
on the same service.
yes,
Okay. And at that time, there will be other opportunities for other vendors
Yes.
to compete. I have no problem with this. I would move to approve as presented unless there's other comments or questions.
Well, I'll ask if there's any other questions first before we do a motion. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, now I will
All right.
entertain a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. County Manager, do you have anything?
No
further?
other items.
Okay, County Attorney.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have an executive session on your agenda, and I'm actually going to ask that we address an additional case during that, so I'll expand it a bit to say that I would need an executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-4024B and E for the purpose of receiving legal advice and instructing negotiators regarding the Soma and Culpeper cases.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have an executive session. All right. Let's take, do we need 5 minutes before? Okay, let's move into, we will adjourn the public hearing and move into land use. We are ready.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Greg Barnes with the Adams County Community and Economic Development Department. And today's only case is a request for a conditional use permit to allow recreational vehicle storage in the Agricultural 3 Zone District. When this case was heard before the Planning Commission on October 28th, the Planning Commission continued this case by the request of the applicant to the January 13th agenda. As a result of their continuance, the Board of County Commissioners must have this case processed through the Planning Commission before a decision can be made. So staff is recommending a continuance of this case to February 1st. And I'm available if you have any questions about this.
Commissioners, do we have any questions? No questions. My only question is this another continuance or is this the first continuance?
This would be the second continuance. The applicant is pursuing, trying to better meet the county's development standards. We did advise the applicant that their application did not meet the standards and that we were not recommending approval as staff. Eventually, the applicant has decided to revise their application. They have been diligently working on it and in contact with staff. We expect another submittal from this applicant probably within this week.
And if I might ask, is there a limitation as to how many times we can extend?
I do not believe there is with the consent of the applicant.
Okay. Thank you very much. Commissioners, any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Do we have a motion to extend?
I'll move to approve the extension.
Second.
Thank you very much. And this is just to extend, this isn't a vote on, right? Just to extend, right?
Just the continuance, yeah.
Okay. All right, you have your continuance. Thank you very much. Seeing no other items under land use, we will adjourn our meeting at 10:16. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, with the